Joining us now, a man who is the back-to-back NFL MVP. This past weekend saw him leave the game against the Philadelphia Eagles with an apparent injury, potential lung issues, playing with a broken thumb since week 5, which we did not know about. Bad friends, bad show. Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
How are you, bud?
Hello.
Hey,
We meet again.
Yeah, we do. It's great to see you. I should have investigated a little bit more on that thumb. You didn't want anybody to know you had a fractured thumb? Did you know you had a fractured thumb week 5? And how was that whole thing gone? Is it hurt like hell every single day and you've just been toughing it out on these shows?
A lot of grit, Pat. A lot of grit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Pittsburgh grit. It wouldn't have changed anything. It wouldn't have changed, playing. I feel like I don't need built-in excuse every single week. I had a thumb injury. I've dealt with it. I missed practice. I taped up for the games. That seemed to suffice for me. Now, after we got, Make-A-Wish kid scooped the story, and then there's some other report, leaked by who knows who about the type of fracture it is and ideas about surgery and blah, blah, blah. Interesting times we live in.
Oh, I thought I heard a little.
Do you agree with all of it?
Somebody
Do you agree with
fucking
everything that was leaked? Like, why? Do you have issues with what was leaked? And how did it come about with the Make-A-Wish kid?
Yeah, he's a aspiring podcaster, I believe.
Packers B.
So I didn't realize
Big B.
I was getting.
Big P. Sorry, Packers P. Sorry, Bob.
B.
Packers
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
So I had it right
Nah,
the
he's
first
a
time.
Boy. Yeah, Big B.
All right, legend.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, that's on me.
No, he was a great kid. He was asking a lot of questions. We had a nice little lunchtime chat, and then it got released.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy he broke that. It seemingly sounds like you're not thrilled about the actual fracture getting out because that means that had to come from somebody that had the actual information. And then you said interesting times, which is like, why would you put that out there? We don't need that out there. But let's move on. Let's get away from the thumb, because that's old news.
That's right.
Exactly.
7 weeks that thing's been broke ever since London Town. Never chatted about it. And we talked about this whenever the news broke. A lot of people talk about you being an ayahuasca and hippie and this and that and every standoff, whatever the case. You're old school, dude. You are. You're a fucking old school player. I think you take a lot of pride in that. So I would like to let you know we appreciate you not wanting the world to know that a quarterback who throws with his right hand has a broken thumb on his right hand when there was a lot of moments where you were getting fucking buried for being washed where it could have easily came out and many other people will. So I want you we acknowledge you. We acknowledge you doing that, all right?
Yeah.
Hope you're happy about that, at least. And we're acknowledging it. Know that others are as well.
Well, thank you.
All right. Let's talk about your toughness. What happened, man? Are you okay? Was it on that one hit where 3 people hit you? Did it happen earlier? What happened to your – yeah.
There was an earlier shot in the game that kind of rattled the rib cage, and I was trying to stretch some things out at halftime a little bit and realized it probably wasn't some sort of muscle injury, and then just got hit again in the third quarter and was having a hard time breathing. I mean, I pride myself on not coming out of games, and I've played through a lot of different things over the years. That some that got attention, some that haven't got attention, but I was in considerable pain, and I felt like I just couldn't move out there really much at all, and wanted to go in and just make sure it wasn't something really, really serious. I've heard some stories and seen Randall Cobb punctured a lung back in 2015 playoffs, I think it was, and that was pretty scary. And I've heard some other stories as well. So I just want to make sure that wasn't the case, and tried to get some X-rays as well, which. I mean, I'll talk about that maybe after the season's over. But that was an interesting process as well. And then just couldn't do anything about the pain to get back out there.
I will resist the urge to try to guess what happened with the X-rays for the good of everybody. I assume other people will do that, but we will move on. So did it feel like a fractured rib? Is that what you're saying? It felt like you fractured a rib or something like that? And that was what led you to believe that maybe it would be a punctured lung. And how many quarters were you playing with that from that initial hit? And is this something that's going to be able to be healable? You know, because you got the Chicago Bears, who you were the landlord of this weekend, and everybody's talking like on the Sunday Night Football broadcast. It sounded as if we might never see you play football again, like ever again. And then obviously there's been reports about should LaFleur hold Aaron Rodgers out for the good of Aaron Rodgers whenever they're eliminating everything like that. Where do you stand with all that, and how does that feel right now? Do you feel like that's going to be something that's going to hold you back?
Well, we're not eliminated. I got good news with the scans yesterday, so I plan on playing this week.
Hell yeah.
You're still playing in the NFL? You're still playing?
I know. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Wow.
Hey, okay. Aaron Rodgers playing this weekend against the Bears. Hey, that's great news, especially to a guy that's about to ask you a question. Ty Schmidt, owner of the Packers, your question for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron, is it hard? I mean, I know, like, you're still in it. You guys obviously aren't eliminated. Is it hard not thinking about the future? And, like, we've talked about it, you know, I mean, with you, people are going to say shit no matter what. But, like, do you get taken aback, like, if you see some of that stuff on Monday morning after the game, you know, whether it's Pro Football Talk saying – hey, not only will we probably never see him in a Packers uniform again, but that might have been the last snaps he's ever taken. Like, do you pay any mind to that? Have you started thinking about after the season, or is it still like, hey, we you know, we're not eliminated yet. We still have everything in front of us?
Well, I'd say yes to both. Obviously, I think about the future all the time, a la Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And also, you know, we're not eliminated. We got a chance to run the last five and see where we stand after that. So that's the focus for me. You know, I might miss practice Wednesday, will not be a full contributor, but that's kind of been standard for the last, 6-7 weeks. Go to my one of my favorite places to play down in Chicago, and hopefully, you know, get a big win, get into the bye week, get healthy, and see where we can get to.
That was Zito talking shit to you while you were talking about that. He's holding on a lot of hope, and he popped himself mightily there. That's a big-time laugh from him. Excited to hear you're back this week and excited where your mindset is. Go ahead, AJ.
Aaron, I was on John Kuhn's show earlier today, and he wanted me to ask you great show he's doing over there as well. But he wanted to know if you were 8-4 right now, heading into this game, would you shut it down for a couple weeks to rest up for the playoff run if things were different?
Kuhn, not just a rockhead. Very good question. That's unbelievable.
Is it, though? Is that a real question, John Kuhn?
Yes, it is.
You think that was disrespectful? You think that was disrespectful to ask that question?
Listen, we are 8-4, 4-8, 12-0, 0-12. I'd be wanting to suit up this week.
How come
and not just because it's Chicago, because that's what you do. You know, when you're a player, you go out there, and if you can play, you play. You don't need some doctor to give you an excuse. Oh man, I don't know, maybe one more week. You know, not quite 100%. No, if you can go out there and compete, and you have competitive greatness in your body, in your heart, in your mind, you go out and play.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey. Felt like I was in a fucking movie right there, dude. Didn't it? That was like, that's your mindset it always has?
Hey, is that an issue though? For real though, Pat, that's an issue I have. Aaron, is that a thing? Is that something like as you've been in the league for so long, has that changed from where guys would play through pretty much anything at times? And then is there more people now who just, I think people surround players and tell them to shut it down? Does that happen more often where, hey, if I'm not 100, there's no chance I'm playing?
AJ, you saying when he said look for an excuse there, right? Because my antennas went up there as well. Is that something you're seeing? Just not maybe on your team, but around the NFL? That's a good question, AJ. Well, I could.
I would assume it's probably more prevalent now than maybe it used to be. I think that there's, then understandably, I guess, there's fear around what does it mean if I'm not 100% and I don't play my absolute best going out there? Does that mean, can I live with that reality? And I think many people can't. For me, I can, because I know what competitive greatness is. It's going out there and trying to do your best all the time and putting your body on the line and putting your body on the line for your teammates, and knowing that if you're 90%, 80%, 70% gives your team the best chance to win, then you're out there and you're playing. And and also being able to look in the mirror. I mean, that's honestly the only person you have to really appease, and whose opinion you got to live up to is that person staring right back at you. So that's why I've always wanted to play, and that's why I've never wanted to come out of games, because I want to look in the mirror and know that I did everything I could to be out there with my guys. I put my body on the line willingly, and that's the nature of being a fierce competitor and striving for competitive greatness, is that it's not really a question. I don't need somebody to tell me, maybe another week you'll be 100%. Maybe just wait one more week. No. That's just never how I've played. Now, I probably got some help playing behind a guy who played in 300-plus straight starts, because it was never even a question for him. But you can't say that there's the same approach now than it was maybe back then.
Sticky Finger Bandits, who you're talking about, and I understand listening to you talk. What's that? Yeah. Sorry, I had to.
Had to.
Come on. Everybody was ready.
Come on.
It's holiday
right
season.
It's right there.
It was right there. I mean, had to do it. It's reality, too. I mean, I'm sorry about it. I mean,
ain't
it
that
is.
hard.
But whenever you talk about the competitive greatness and, and I appreciate your mindset on it, because that's like you're an old school football player. Never gets talked about. Everything else gets talked about you because, you are Aaron. You have the most face shots. They actually had to zoom in on your ass on Sunday Night Football because they were trying to get your thumb. And you just so happened when you put your hand down, your thumb real close to your ass. They were zoomed on your ass for maybe 35 seconds on Sunday Night Football. Your face gets a face like.
I think that's what the kids call the thirst trap.
Yeah. You put a little. You put that thing out there. You knew that they were zooming in on that. You put the booty in the way. Go ahead and check out the squats on the fucking bar. But you get a lot of face time. Nobody talks about you being like old school guy though, and it seems like you are. Even though I believe you could have been a hit.
Or the fact that I'm the COVID MVP.
Well,
All right.
what?
True. Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron.
2020.
Thank you, Aaron.
I got MVP the 2 years of the pandemic.
That's mine.
I mean, who can say that?
I'll tell you what.
Because you weren't afraid of
You
it.
had all right. I mean, obviously, Cowboy Diggs.
He rides again.
Cowboy Tone is.
Thank you, Aaron.
Is getting real excited about it all. And you had certainly had people that had your back on that whole thing, and I saw them in there. You winning the MVP in the middle of that season with everything that was going on is maybe the one modern miracle of the modern media that I could have never foreseen coming. We thought you had no fucking shot. I think we've talked about that because remember the one voter,
Pornhub
Arkush, he came out and said it openly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what this fuck. I'm like this fucking guy. I mean, he's killing people.
Yeah, he's good. He's an asshole. I can't
He's
vote
killing
for him.
people. Are we doing that? Can't vote for him. It was like, that was kind of a glimpse we thought into everybody. But since he did that, and everybody was like, that's how you're going to judge who the MVP is, there was almost like you say, it almost put everybody else in kind of a little bit of a pretzel who was maybe thinking the same thing. And I hope we talk about that going forward because that was a modern miracle. I honestly, back to back too.
I know. Unbelievable.
Back to back.
I mean, is that a bigger miracle than surviving the winter of death, or
All right.
what do you think?
See, here we go. Now we're getting right back into it. But listening to you talk about the competitive greatness and showing up for your teammates with broken thumb and all that. And we asked you last week about thinking ahead because everybody's calling for it now that you're having a different season than you had in the last 5 years. Everybody's talking about, he's going to retire, he's going to disappear, he's going to do all that. And you have chatted pretty openly about thinking about the future and everything. When I asked you, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I said, what do you love about football? You cut this promo about competing and everything about it. And it was one of the best speeches about competition and your mindset towards competing from somebody who's an elite athlete. And we appreciate that. We still run the fucking commercial to this day.
Oh, yeah.
And then last week, we asked you about the future and you said it's going to be difficult to get away from the NFL. And you say you think about the future all the time. Have you figured out how you're going to satiate your fucking competitive juices going forward as an adult? Have you thought about that? Got a FaceTime for something.
I have, yeah.
How are you going to do? Are you going to become a professional golfer? Is that what you're planning on doing? Are you I think you're going to be.
I got to say this. How many times I have to say this for my golf friends? It's not going to happen, bro. These golfers on a whole different level. They're so fucking good at every single tour. You can't just pick up, and go out there and expect to compete. John Smoltz has played in a few exemptions on the Champions Tour. and I don't think he's finished in the top 40 or so. And he also made
Let's relax.
the U.S. Senior Open as well as a qualifier, which is pretty amazing. I mean, but didn't break par or shoot around par. Like, that's a Champions Tour where there isn't a cut, except for in the majors.
Don't worry about that.
But you're talking about, like, Romo hasn't sniffed a cut. Steph, didn't sniff a cut as well on the Korn Ferry. Like, these guys are elite level athletes. And so, no, I'm not going to join golf. I do enjoy, some other hobbies that I haven't been able, to experience for a long time. And I'm probably getting into some of those things. But as far as competitive stuff, I don't know, going down to the park and playing a little pickup basketball and, dunking on some people, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
lower rim.
Yeah, but
lower rim.
we're at 9 feet right over here right now. It makes you feel real good about yourself. We put it down for little Phil yesterday. This hoop's at 9 feet. Feels like you. I feel like AJ Hawk, 40-inch vertical flying around all over the place. But everybody's just so quick to say that you're going to retire. And I think you have thought about it in the past as well. People that are as good as you are at the position that you're at don't have it easy. It's not an easy thing just to kind of move on from. And that kind of just gets thrown away in this whole thing about how fucking competitive of a human you are, which is why you've been so good. So everybody that's just so quick to be like, this guy's fucking out of here, not playing back, I think that's just like a misread of a situation. Personally, I think you're gonna figure it out. I think you are gonna golf a lot more. I think you're gonna get real good at the golf, and then you're gonna start flirting with it. And then you're going to get in the Champions Tour, and you're going to get top 50, just like me, and we're going to get $20 million from AJ Hawk. I've not forgotten about that. Let's go to the Eagles game a little bit here. Blankenship, were you impressed by that? Did you think he was gone? Did you think he was bailing? That undrafted rookie that got a pick from fucking Aaron Rodgers in his first game. He's going to talk about that for the rest of his life, getting a pick on primetime. That's how it goes. Darius Slay said, I need a Mount Rushmore ball. I got one from Tom. I got one from Peyton. I need one from Aaron. Like, you don't throw a lot of interceptions, so this is a big deal. Did he trick you? Did this guy trick you? Is that what happened, Aaron? And are you okay to say that or no?
No, he didn't trick me.
Okay.
The guy ran the route, and I shouldn't have thrown the ball. That's what happened. I should have been down the seam. I shouldn't have been off it. But when he was crossing over there, I was like, maybe I can, if he cuts in front of the guy, I can fit it in there. I shouldn't even throw the ball to him. Should have just airmailed it to the, guy on the horse standing on the sidelines over there.
Horse John.
Good player or no? You think Blankenship good player? Kid's got a chance after watching him play in his first action or no? He was getting love.
A lot of it.
He was getting love.
I mean, he cut a ball right to him. That's good play.
All right, love it, absolutely love it.
I don't have a negative opinion about the kid, but let's hold our horses. We left Crown so quick. I couldn't tell you if he had a good game or a bad game. He made a pick, so it's probably a good game.
All right, let's talk about some of your teammates who had good games. Christian Watson continues to build. CJ GJ actually tackled him full speed, which I have a lot of respect for CJ GJ doing that because Christian Watson, in your words, not a lot of them run around on any field anywhere. Big dude, presence, has really come into his own. What do you think about him and his growth over the last few weeks going forward here?
I think it's an incredible case study on how one play can change the course trajectory of a person's life. I mean, I think we know in general one decision, positive and negative in our lives, can change the course for all of us. One piece of advice, one chance encounter, one random meetup with someone. That can do it, but it's rare in this game that kind of one play changes everything for a guy. And people are like, well, there had to be something in practice or this or that. I said, no, not really. No, I watch the kid every single day. He went from struggling for consistency to, I said the other day, he dropped like one pass in the last 3 weeks. But everything he's catching now, and we've seen his speed, and we finally got to hit him. J-Lo threw a nice pass to him on that concept versus one high, and we've seen kind of those type of clips, like a couple of them over the years, where when we installed the offense, that was the Julio Jones catching that ball and the backside guy running that post kind of hold the safety. And if you got a guy with speed, that guy can turn a 10-yard completion into a 60-yard touchdown, and that's exactly what he did. But yeah, I mean, he's 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks. That's pretty impressive for anybody. And for a rookie who had none coming in, after 9 weeks, it's pretty cool for him.
Man, week 1 he had that one, right?
Oh yeah.
Now you got to
First
go
play of
through
the
that.
season.
Probably got to go through that to get the chip on the shoulder. But damn, that could have happened. Maybe different. Hey,
Oh yeah.
go ahead, AJ. That's fucking crazy that happened to him. I'm happy he's showing up though. He's a dude. Oh, hey, he's fucking one of these guys, huh? Aaron,
Yeah, he's well put together.
just like me and you.
Pretty fast.
Just like me and you, Aaron. Go ahead,
He's
AJ.
really
Yeah, he's quick.
Yeah, can't wait to watch you guys on the senior tour. But Aaron, have you seen? Can you remember in your time? Have you ever seen anyone else like have such a big impact from one play or possibly one game? Have you ever like been a part of a team or seen anyone do this?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen people kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, remember James Starks? In 2010, he was on the PUP for forever. We're wondering who this kid from Buffalo is. He ever going to play? And then he has 100 yards, in the playoff game against the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs, and nobody ever seen anything from him, and ended up having a real nice career for us in Green Bay. That kind of comes to mind, but not really like one play where you go from. Is this kid gonna make it? Gonna get it figured out? People are kind of bagging on him to, oh my God, he's a star in a matter of a few weeks. Hard to think of anyone who's had that kind of jump, but happy for him. He cares about it, and the cool thing is just seeing the confidence. Like that's as an older player, you love seeing that confidence grow in those young kids because you see the evolution and know what it's like to be that young and to. Want to, play well and want to have those impact plays and not having them, multiple times. And then to have like a game like he did against Dallas and then to follow it up with 2 touchdowns and then to have a catch and run in 100 yards in another game. It's like pretty cool for the kid.
How about another young guy who showed some great confidence? J-Lo, you just talked about him hitting Christian. What were your thoughts on his performance? Did you get a chance to chat with him afterwards about how he played? And it seemed like he looked like a much more confident and better quarterback than he did last year. Seems like there's real growth there. How did that make you feel?
It was really nice to watch. I feel like an older brother watching him do well. I care about the kid a lot and fun to see his growth. Fun to just see him just kind of relax up there. I think that's, as any young player, same thing with Christian. Once you can make a few plays, it kind of takes the anxiety out of the body and the tension out of the body, and to see him, make accurate throws and do what he's been doing has been fun to watch. I think a lot of it I see through, obviously go back and think about what I was thinking about as a third-year player, but the jumps that you see coincide with him, working on things in look team reps, in practice a lot, working on look offs and different types of arm angle throws. And you didn't see that in the game. You just saw him kind of playing on time and making accurate throws. But I think it's because he's been feeling confident and doing those things on the look team. Then when you get in the game, it allows you to just kind of sink and go back to the the fundamental things that you've been drilling on. So big respect to him. Obviously, I think Tom Clements deserves some amount of credit because he's such a guru in teaching the fundamentals. But happy for Jay to go out there in a primetime game and to have success.
That was cool to hear. Tone, your question for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you have a good Christmas. Glad nobody tried to cancel it this year. You recommended a book this year for the book club, a breathing book. Justin Fields has talked this year about how he's used yoga to help his breathing on the field. Are you going to give him that book maybe as a present this Sunday and talk to him about his breathing?
That's a good question, Tone.
I might. There's actually a couple other books about breathing that I was thinking about putting on here, but I didn't want to overwhelm everybody because Pat's a big mouth breather.
Oh, yeah, I got bad nose.
We're trying to get him, more in the nose and working on some of those different types of breathing stuff. But it's a little early.
Right? That's what you got to do. It's in, deep, all the way, and then all the way out, you got to... I've been in one of those hot yogas. I've been in one of those cult things.
What are you doing with your lips, though? You're just...
I'm relaxing everything. That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
let all the air out, relax everything. And
Do it. Yeah, you got to do some Kegel work though.
all right,
Where you
all
go.
right, just get back to your, please, Justin Fields. I'm breathing every day.
It's a little early. I'm not sure what his policy is on gifts. You know, I always feel like that you can buy yourself some things until about maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks at the most before Christmas, and you got to shut it off. I don't know what his policy is, but if he mentions it after the game, I'll definitely send him a book for Christmas. If he doesn't, then it's a maybe.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Became a great question, Tone. That became a conversation about Justin Fields because of how much he's running. They've got him on a pitch count already. He's 24 years old. They got him, and I say that because that seems to be early for this, but it's working. He's running all over the place. And then he was talking about his breathing and getting winded in those big situations. Obviously, he's being very, very transparent, but I think people listening to that like, oh, this guy's tired or he's scared of the big moment, and they got to put him on a pitch count because he can't run as much. He's only 24 years old. Are we overthinking all that? And how much do you think the breathing aspect is real, and how much did it change how you play?
Probably overanalyzing things. I think that's a standard in sports media. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the comments. No, of course not. I haven't seen the comments, but I think 24-year-old should be able to handle anything they throw at him. I'm not sure what pitch count. Are we talking about runs or passes or
running? They say, and it might have been might have just been phrased improperly, but basically they're watching how much he runs in practice because of how much he's been running in games or something like that. And I was like,
oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, they have all these, modern day technology, GPS reports, how many, yards you're running at practice. So, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we do that for every single position player, so I'm not surprised on that. But I'm sure he can handle all of it. Breathing, yeah, I've talked about box breathing and how that's helped me out. There's a lot of different other things to be kind of studied and pondered and talked about when it comes to different types of breathing and breathing impacting, the anxiety levels, heart rate, and then also, in conjunction with meditation or yoga practice or whatever it might be. There's some good stuff in that. There's some good books about it I could recommend, but yeah, it's important. You got to stop being such a big mouth breather. AJ's a mouth breather as well.
what he wants to do? We broke our big ass beaks at some point in our lives. I assume, AJ, that's why you breathe at night.
Not officially broken, but yeah, I have no air coming through. But
Yeah.
not officially broken.
Yeah, me neither. It's pretty tough to get it through. No official break here either. Did not get it documented. Is that what you're saying? Did not have somebody officially tell us it was
Just didn't
broken?
Didn't break. I've had it drilled out, but that didn't take, so I need to do it again.
You wear a CPAP?
For real. Okay. Any ENTs out there, let me know, for real.
But how long have you been like this, Aaron? Honestly, have you always been like this? Because we've only got a chance to chat with you the last 3 years. Have you?
What, a hippie?
Yeah, yeah. That's kinda. Have you always been like that your entire NFL career? Or is this something you've evolved into?
No, I'd say the last 10 years probably. Last 10 years I've thought more about kind of the holistic approach to life and to sport.
Everything has gotten better because of it for you?
Yes, everything has gotten better. I mean, I look healthier. I would say. I see some of my old pictures, and AJ always, sends me pictures of myself where I look super bloated or fat or whatever, just to body shame me, which I don't really appreciate. Of
course.
I just want to get it out there.
False.
Ty called Baumgartner a fatso the other day.
Yeah.
That was in jest. That's a joke.
Ty said that to
Didn't
him.
sound like
You
it.
said he was good
He said it a
athlete.
couple times. It was rude. I was
embarrassing.
disgusting. I was
rude.
disgusted.
That's did he respond with something about Cameo and how big he is on Cameo or what?
I don't think he has responded. Good news. I'm happy he did not hear it because I actually said that was disgusting. And then Ty goes, "Oh, boo-hoo, fatso." That's what he said as the follow-up to it. So I was like, damn, pretty rude to old Baumgartner. I don't know if Baumgartner deserved
Like
that.
I said, it
You're like
was
AJ to Aaron. I hope you're
in
happy.
jest as a joke. If he took it one way, I'm sorry. But
Well, everybody's
ways
looking to
can
be
take it?
offended about something. So
yeah.
I think Brian's a big boy. He probably will be able to, not find too much offense from that comment.
Okay, good. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Pat found
Baumgartner.
enough in it already. So
I was so offended by it because I don't have a relationship with that guy. you know? So, like, some of the people we bury on this show, we have relationships with. So it's like when I inevitably have to run into said person, they at least get it, you know? But there are some people who get some ricochet shots from this show that I've never met before, and then I meet them for the first time, and I forgot about something that the Toxic Table said 8 months ago that definitely got to this person, and I'm coming in for man, awesome to meet you. And it is not like that at all. It's like, all right, this is why I don't go in public.
Whoops. Hey,
Okay.
that was my guy. He was just joshing. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, well, there's normally some built-up scars, I think, because normally they sit on it for a few months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That whole thing happens. But anyways, Baumgartner, we don't fuck with him. So anyways, he got body shamed just like you did, it sounds like, from AJ. I'm happy to hear that you have figured out what makes you the best you. Speaking of the best you possible, I feel like I've been the best me possible because we've been a part of something for 2 seasons now that makes the world a better place, AQ, something you've never done.
Right.
The world needed a book club to rally behind.
I need to get something in real quick.
Okay. Is this the x-ray thing?
Not about COVID.
Or the x-rays?
It was more on the lines of, speaking of people who watch our show and with a victim mentality and then get offended by things.
Oh, here we go.
I did want to make sure that I mentioned how much fun and how well decorated and well thought out the Thanksgiving gathering was at the Crosbys' house.
Hell yeah, Crosby.
Yeah.
We knew it, didn't we, Aaron? We knew they were going to do
Yeah.
great, didn't we?
So big shout out
Nailed it.
to Molly and Mason Crosby, especially Molly, because Molly was very sensitive
Thank you,
about
Molly.
some of the things said last week. So I want to say she did a great job.
Hell yeah, Molly.
She was most of the time a very attentive host,
Still gonna
and she has some help and some really cute kids who I absolutely love. So that was great spending time with them. But I have to mention, because Molly will actually lose her mind if I don't, that she did a really nice job hosting. And I'm sure Mason, did a little bit.
How's the turkey?
Yeah, the turkey, the cooking of the turkey was certainly something you said can get your anxiety levels high. How did it taste? Was it a smoked? Was it a fried turkey? Did we
What?
go a baked turkey? What was the turkey? What was your overall rating on the food that I'm sure Molly heard you judge before you even got there?
Listen, I'm going to say this again. I don't think anybody goes to Thanksgiving, not many people, and really, is looking forward to eating turkey. Like, it's the only time of the
Turkey
year
sucks.
they actually eat turkey. I mean, there's got to be some people out there, I'm sure. I'm not one of them. I'm about the sides. So I was very, very happy with the side options, with the pie options.
Oh, come on.
It was a very well.
What were the sides? What were the sides? Good stuffing? Good stuffing, huh?
Listen, you need a good sweet potato something.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a great one. I don't know, and I don't want to, I'm probably going to hear about this if she actually did, but I don't know that Molly actually cooked the turkey. I believe there was some help from a fantastic chef named Adam, who everybody at the Packers knows and loves. And I don't know if Molly actually did it, but I will say everything else that Molly had ready was fantastic. They were party favor giveaways.
Wow.
Mostly attentive. Mostly attentive. I had to throw
I
that in.
don't think
Mostly
she.
attentive.
I don't think she cooked the turkey. I think our
Party
team
favor.
chef did.
Yeah.
This.
But
Molly, don't
I
listen
feel
to
a
any of
little
that.
Bad. I feel a little bad, and I just want to get this PSA out there. Listen, don't be a freaking weirdo, okay?
Hell yeah.
Somebody who watched the show went over to Molly's house with some sort of pie saying it was from me,
Oh no.
and then wouldn't leave. That was, I'm just saying this, that's creepy,
Yeah.
and don't be that person.
Yeah. I don't think they're from our
So-
show. They're from something else. They probably follow you on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
She's lucky Mace didn't come home and pound that dude.
Yeah. Pound them.
Hell yeah.
Pound the shit out of it.
Thanksgiving pounding. They talk about stuffing on Thanksgiving. This is
I'll give you
Thanksgiving
a stop
pounding.
Goddamn right.
All right. Congrats to the Crosbys on an incredible Thanksgiving. A lot of work goes into that. So, Molly, I assume you kicked ass.
Way to go,
Well done, Molly.
Love you, Molly.
There were some things said in that, Molly, that you should just don't even hear.
Glaze over.
Because everything else was good. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is fantastic to be a part of something that makes the world a better place for once and for all. AQ, you know nothing about that, ain't that right?
That's right.
We have made the world a smarter place, a better place, a more insightful place with these Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, not only from the conversation, but from the things that have been created. Most importantly, a book club that this generation needed. You had heard of book clubs in the past. I believe Oprah still has a large one. There needed to be a new one. We didn't know there needed to be a new one until we were sitting on the show one time, and the person that created the new one said, I have a book I'd like to recommend. And then, boom, the Aaron Rodgers Book Club began. Since then, we have learned of so many books that have made people more smart. We've learned of so many situations where kids have started reading. We have learned about adults who have cracked back into their bookshelf. Start diving back into reading to make the world a better place with the Aaron Rodgers Book Club. And now it is time to debut the 12th or 13th book from this year's Aaron Rodgers Book Club. First, it was the Mastery of Love. We mastered that, didn't we?
Hell yeah.
Almost a doctorate if you fucking needed it. Then we went to 1984, which caused quite a conversation from George Orwell. Then it was The Art of Contemplation, in which we contemplated how to change your mind, which is also a documentary. Healing, which was a breathing book that needed maybe to be shared with Justin Fields. Then there's obviously The Boy and the Mushroom and the Sacred Cross. And then there was Love Wins. There was a Keanu Reeves coloring book. And last but not least, Into the Wild, which, in this gripping account, acclaimed journalist John Crocker reassembled the disquieting facts of Chris McCandless's short life, and he searched for clues to the mystery of his untimely death. This was a fucking thriller. This one was awesome.
Big time.
And I can't wait to hear what this week's is. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers Book Club 2.0, Book 13 is
in no way a representation of anything I feel like you personally need to work on. So I'm not. This is not directed at you.
No
but
offense.
The book is called Recovery: Freedom from Our Addictions.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's by an individual that I find very fascinating, and his name is Russell Brand.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he was that rich English
Yeah, Al the Snow.
There it is.
in that movie.
Singer. Yeah.
Out of snow, yeah.
You sound
Great
like you're
movie.
from London.
You got the
Get him
clap.
to the Greek.
Yeah.
Something happened with this guy where he disappeared.
Great
and then,
soundtrack.
Then he came back. This guy interesting, right?
Oh yeah,
Very
much
thin.
It's a script.
He wrote a book. What's it called?
Very
Freedom.
thought-provoking guy. It's called Recovery: Freedom from Our Addictions. And I enjoy listening to him. He, says a lot of things that make you think and encourages you to do kind of your own research and stuff. But I do enjoy kind of his openness and honesty. And he was in obviously big, Hollywood guy, and now he's kind of not really working there as much and talking about his experiences, a lot of addictions that he had to work through. But I do appreciate his point of view. He's somebody who's on that list of 5 or 10 people he'd love to have dinner with at some point, just because I find him interesting and enjoy how thought-provoking he can be. So I also think he's a really good writer. So yeah, definitely. I wasn't pointing that at you. Obviously, AJ has his own issues with cigar smoking that he's been working through. I haven't seen him smoke on the show in a while, but
Did you read Russell Brand's book? Did you read it and you quit smoking cigars? Is that what you did?
Yep, exactly.
If you read this book, do
Thank
you
you,
have to
Russ.
read it in that accent? I assume,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
I think so.
Have to. He has a great one.
there's probably an audio book. I'm sure
That'd be awesome.
Connor or Diggs could check that out, get you the audio book.
Football season, Aaron. It's gonna be tough to.
Narrated by Helen Mirren, I think.
How do you feel?
She's awesome.
I don't know who that is. That's a British lady.
Dame.
She's a dame, yeah.
She's awesome.
She's a dame.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog. Good reader. Sounds like she's a great reader.
Great reader.
It's a total package.
I don't know who this is.
She's
Sounds
a
like this.
rocket.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Best way.
It's on audio. It's narrated by Russell Brand. It's
Oh, okay. So
we
it's
go.
not this woman. All right, sweet. All right, so Russell Brand's reading his own book.
Okay.
Go Russ.
So just as we go forward here in this relationship, anytime you pick a book specifically for me, don't start out with saying, hey, because as you were thinking about laying it out, you're like, oh, Pat's going to think this is for him, and it is. So you tell me beforehand. Wouldn't have thought that was for me if you didn't say, hey, maybe this book is, you're the only one that reads it this week. That's kind of how you laid it out, but I appreciate you doing that,
I
honestly.
know you're not going to read it, so
Good
I
job.
also didn't want you to get sensitive because I feel like there's been a couple times during this 45 minutes where you may have taken somebody else's offense and made it your own.
Hey, Baumgartner. I mean, Baumgartner
He
got,
clogged that toilet.
I mean, he got dunked on by Ty a couple times. Poor fella. Anyways, can't wait to read that book from Russell Brand in Russell Brand's voice and then listen to the audio version to hear how close it was and see if I got the same exact outcome from it. We appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck in Chicago, man. You're a landlord up there.
Burn on.
Thanks, guys.
Aaron Rodgers. He's not retiring, dude.
No.